Orange's turn to ban.
Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome into this late edition. By late, I mean we're getting into the late stages of the group stage, and a lot on the line for this match for Orange and LGD International, both respectively. Orange Inners played today, a team which has had their number of opponents, or perhaps, to be more accurate, they've had the letters of the entire organization of LGD. Not only have they beaten LGD International going back to March, they went 5-0 in both of those series combined in terms of games. They also hung an equally ugly 2-0 trouncing on their brothers in the organization, LGD China, just days ago. Now, despite what history tells us, it would be a stretch to say that Orange will enter today's match the hands-down favorite. As strong as they've been since the addition of Net and Ohio to their lineups back in January, they've still shown some weaknesses, many of which were exposed in their 2-0 loss to the upstart Rattlesnake squad here in Phase 3 already. With talent at every position and a superstar in Mushi at their carry and captain, Orange is a team who can beat anyone on any given day, and today will be playing a team they've beaten well and beaten often, and it couldn't come at a better time for Orange either, as they have a chance to punch their ticket to the LAN finals with the win here today. With their victory over LGD China earlier this week, a win today would move Orange to 2-1, meaning that even if LGD China wins their last group match, the best they can do is force a tie with Orange, giving the Malaysian squad the head-to-head tiebreak advantage and a one-way ticket to the postseason. LGD International, well, it's midnight hour for them, and they find themselves playing a team which has been an absolute nightmare for them as the clock strikes 12. As mentioned, Orange has not only beaten LGD International in their last two meetings in March, they've also been able to whitewash both series to the tune of 5 unanswered game wins. Now, this is a trend LGD International will have to snap today if they want to avoid having to take the longest possible road to the playoffs out of Phase 3. If LGD loses today, they aren't eliminated, but their fate is completely out of their hands. If Rattlesnake is able to upset their counterparts in LGD China, they'll be watching the G-1 finals from home. A win from their brothers in arms, though, will allow them to remain in third place in the group. But if you're LGD International today, those aren't scenarios you even want to contemplate. Win and you're safe. That's all they need to care about. That's all they need to focus on. March is behind us, and now looking ahead to April, going to look to get things on track with a win against their first meeting with Orange here in a brand new month and here in spring. Speaking of a brand new match right in front of us, got a new one that I'm going to be casting with the guy I had on yesterday. Looking forward to this. Of course, joining me for the broadcast, Navi's Puppy. Puppy, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm doing good.
Good to hear, good to hear. So I just ate up like the entire band pick phase going through the introduction. Sorry to do that, but you got to give some context. Got to let people know what's on the line.
We got time, man. We got time.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm just going to let people hear what they want to hear. They want to hear you analyze. Tell me about the picks in the bands and what they're thinking based on, or what they should be thinking based on what they see already.
Well, I'm seeing the typical stuff from Orange. They love it. They want to do it. They don't even care what they're giving away if they're getting these heroes. So they're going for their split push catch type of heroes. Shadow Demon Tinker, very obvious for them. Weaver, also a next hero that they want to catch and split push with. And I can see LGD International are definitely going for the team fight. They are. They pick Lifestealer because he deals a lot of damage. He's easy to target down heroes. Leshrac team fight, Darkseer team fight. Darkseer and Lifestealer, good combination. I see the bans of Nerub and Magnetar, both very good heroes for Orange. They are these heroes that stop a fight because the Nerubian just goes in, mana burns you, does whatever he can, and Magnetar is just very strong in a team fight. But Orange, like, they just ban heroes they think that are too good to give away. Batrider and Lone Droid, there's no reason to give away these heroes if the enemy plays it good.
Absolutely. We can see the clockwork taken out by LGD now as their first ban out, and I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, we've had a chance to see Orange and LGD both in action quite a bit throughout Phase 2 and Phase 3, and really LGD, the way that they seem to like to play the most is just to have very strong lanes. They tend to run dual carry lanes a lot. They love to pick up a Lone Druid and a Lifestealer if and when they can. Obviously, that won't be the option with the Lone Druid first banned out by Orange. We'll wait to see what they want to end up running mid. Could be the Darkseer mid, but just based on what we've seen out of them, they have a lot of flexibility already. They could do something like mid the Darkseer, then run an offensive tri lane with the Lifestealer and the Leshrac. They've been known to do that a lot. Rubik's still available as well. We'll see if Orange wants to ban him out or not, but it's the mobility, and I think you hit the nail on the head with Orange. Orange loves to play that split push, high pressure game, pick and push kind of an oriented lineup, and off to a great start with their draft with Tinker and Weaver to go with the very, very reliable supportive Shadow Demon.
See, you got to understand one thing though. Even if they do this mobility split push heroes, actually, if you look at these three heroes that they have now, these heroes are very hard to stay against if LGD goes into an offensive trialing. There's no way you can ever kill a hero with Shadow Demon standing behind there, and Tinker or Weaver. They have Lifestealer. He's not really that good against Weaver. You need to hit the Leshrac stun. Darkseer can't do anything. So Orange are playing this game very safe. They understand that, okay, we will just outplay you. We just don't need to fuck up the early game. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we'll get our boots of travels on Tinker, we get our stuff, we start moving on the map, and we start outplaying you. While LGD are definitely having a problem here because they need to kill them. There's absolutely no way they will win the late game right now with their lineup just now, because their main carry is probably going to be Lifestealer. But they tend to go with a new main carry also. Actually, Pycat does not play the Lifestealer. I am wrong here.
Yep, it's
This is going to be a second carry. This is going to be their second carry, and they are looking for one more carry. And I don't think Luna will work here. The LGD International Luna will not work here. He would be too easy to frag.
Well, taking a look already, and I completely agree with you, by the way, the big weakness of a Luna, unless she just gets off to an utterly phenomenal start, is that no matter how you build her, she tends to drop really, really early on in teamfights if she's focused down a lot. And when you look at what Orange already has, I mean, you've got the survivability factor that comes out of Disruption from Shadow Demon, but that's to say nothing of just the amount of damage output that Tinker and Weaver, even very early on, you're talking level 6, trying to fight in March of the Machines is not an option to a hero like Luna. Lifestealer can deal with it a little bit better, but I mean, for the most part, LGD loves to fight early. That's just what they're known for doing. They like to get ahead in the lanes, and they like to free the map up, look for skirmish fights, sometimes try to go for a pick and push. But I really like what Orange has already shown us, and LGD is actually going to be the team to go ahead and ban out the Luna, not wanting to do
they also have a problem against the Luna. They don't really want to give away the next carry because it benefits the Weaver a lot, and it's actually very good with Tinker. In the nighttime, you can spam rockets and people that you didn't know you can because you see them behind the tower in nighttime. It's very important. It's all started in the international second, where IG started playing that lineup with the Tinker, Luna, Enchantress, Venoman. So they just put Veno wards everywhere. They just get the vision from the Luna nighttime, and they just spam these rockets all the time. You can't do anything, and the Luna beam will take down 25% of your HP. You literally can't fight down the push. You must have a stronger lineup. That is all.
Take a look at Orange. Continuing to ban out the supports, and they are anticipating at least an active early game out of LGD, taking out the Rubik, the Storm Spirit, and the Bane, 3 heroes renowned for being able to make some space and to try to excel in those smaller team fights. Now, I'm equally interested as you are as to what carry LGD is going to want to pick up here. And usually when you see LGD pick up the Lifestealer, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, it's going to be a Brax. So God is going to be back on Silencer, and I've seen God play really well and not so well on Silencer. He's actually played that hero a couple of times so far here, and it's a hero that if you can time your ultimate just right, it can be the absolute game changer.
It can. I think we're gonna see the carry Lifestealer. They don't have room. They can only have room to put the dogs here in the woods and get another carry. But what will happen though, if this will happen, I don't see them doing anything with these heroes. If the dogs here will go woods, I think their lanes are going to be so easy to kill. They're going to have a Shadow Demon Lina probably, something like that, the Orange, and they're going to kill your heroes if you're going to have farming heroes in the woods and stuff. They just know where you are. They'll place one ward. If they see the Leshrac, they see all of your heroes, pretty much.
What kind of already jumps out, depending on what they anticipate being mid? If they're thinking a Tinker mid, Gyrocopter has not been banned out, and that is another hero that LGD does like to run. That would give them the 2 carry position and would allow them to offensively or defensively tri-lane. I sniff a defensive tri-lane like you. I mean, at this stage, I just have a real hard time imagining them trying to go head-to-head with Orange. It's something they've been known to do. But Shadow Fiend, going to be the right-click damage dealer coming out from Orange in 4th position, now waiting on LGD's last pick.
Yeah, Orange does not feel the pressure right now. They don't see the pressure from this Silence, Doxy, Leshrac, or Lifestealer, because they know they have Shadow Demon, they know they have Weaver, they know they have Tinker. They could put any lane. They don't care. But now, after the Silencer pickup, they're like, oh, well, you want to pick some kind of a right-click hero? Well, we'll actually pick a hero that does not literally care about your hero. Because he will just click BKB and start hitting. It doesn't even matter if the SF dies. If in the end he can pull out his ultimate and die, then he's done his job and the Weaver Tinker will clean up. Bounty Hunter. This will be some kind of a weird Woods Darkseer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the silencer pickup, thinking God, I was wondering, I've seen God run the silencer out of the support position. That's why I thought maybe a gyrocopter would be the option. But yeah, Darkseer likely to be hanging out in the woods. Lifestealer, Leshrac, Bounty Hunter in the off
Oh
lane,
no, it's not going to be a Darkseer. What the hell I'm talking about? This can be a silencer support on 1437. It literally can be.
Oh, it could be for sure. God tends to run the hero. I'm not sure.
I know he does. I know he does. And I totally agree before the Bounty Hunter pickup, but now I can see it that this Darkseer cannot go woods. He definitely has to go somewhere middle or somewhere top. I don't know. Somewhere definitely on the lane. They cannot, like I said, they cannot put him in the woods because it's gonna leave Weaver, Shadow Fiend, Tinker to farm. They cannot allow this.
Have to find out momentarily. Orange still waiting to pick up their last pick. As we wait on this last pick, once again, I want to welcome everyone in. You're tuned in just in time to make it into Game 1. And it looks like you have no sound in Dota TV, Puppy, so if you want to go ahead and toggle that. And because, of course, we had a problem in Game 1, I am paying a bit more attention to the messages today. Very sorry for those who, of course, were listening in via Dota TV yesterday and robbed of my silky, sultry tones. Yeah, right. Everybody tuned in to hear you, Puppy. Let's not kid ourselves. But Sand King, gonna be the last pickup coming out of Orange.
Yeah, they pick up the Sand King because they need a stun. As you can see, they have no stun. And they won't use this hero for an epicenter. They won't use this hero for anything more than a stun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just about ready to get underway. And already, I mean, when you look at this, you see the Bounty Hunter from LGD International. That means they're going to want to fight early. They're certainly going to have plenty of potential to fight starting at level 6. But
it is going to be some kind of a weird Darkseer.
Yep, no, that's kind of what I suspected too. I mean, when I look at it, I can see the Darkseer hanging out in the woods with Lifestealer, Leshrac farming out of the safe lane, Silencer mid, and Bounty Hunter off lane. That's not going to prevent anything, and I totally agree. It's a gigantic liability to just let Orange free farm up that way. But with the Bounty Hunter pickup, when I see something like a Bounty Hunter come out last like that, and I would even venture to say that may not have been the original game plan, was to have a Bounty Hunter here. Instead, I think it's a response to say, you know what, we're not comfortable with the draft and the way it was going. How about we get a hero that's going to let us take a lot of fights early, and even if we're only breaking even, we'll have a chance to at least get a little bit of a lead, try to get our Lifestealer ahead.
I think that the Bounty Hunter pickup was a plan, because like I said before, Orange wants a split push. They want a split push with this goddamn Tinker, Weaver, whatever they can do. But the Bounty Hunter Nags combination is very fearsome, actually. The first early 15 minutes where Tinker does not have Blink Dagger, you can totally always kill that hero. And if you get a frag with a Bounty Hunter to the Nags, it's always going to be worth it.
Well, seeing Pycat on the Lifestealer was a little bit of a surprise. Brax, generally speaking, plays the Lifestealer, but usually that's because Pycat is running on the other primary carry, and given he is the primary carry in this lineup, it makes a ton of sense to have their primary carry player running on him. Looks like we're not going to have a lot of blood spilled early on, so how about we take a look at our lineups? Going to have Misery running on Leshrac, Silencer as anticipated. Oh, no, actually will be handled by 1437, so they did swap it. God will be running the Darkseer mid, so good call there, Puppy, as one would expect. Brax
They do swap.
And we saw it, yeah, absolutely. Brax will be handling the Bounty Hunter, and Pycat is mentioned, farming up our Lifestealer on the other side of the river. Mushi, the captain and the carry, on the side of Orange. He'll be playing our Shadow Fiend. We're going to have Net handling our Shadow Demon. Going to have X handling the Sand King this time around. We'll have K rolling on our Tinker, and the Weaver handled in mid by Ohio. Been a while since I've seen a solo mid Weaver.
Yeah, I guess they're guessing it's going to be a strong Leshrac Nake, some type of a lane. I think they're wrong, or maybe they thought it's going to be a Silencer. I really don't know what the thought process was, because they did swap. Maybe Orange got off guard with that too. So let's see how this goes.
A lot of kill potential on the side of Orange. On the side of LGD, obviously they have a little bit. No concerted stun on the side of Silencer. There's a disruption to lead off, and the Burrow Strike will follow it up. He will end up eating a last word for a little bit of damage, but Misery already knocked down to half health after just one combination of spells.
Oh, he pulled the creeps.
Very nice. So, Misery managing to confound things a little bit. We can see Net, Net trying hard. Oh, he got one. Trying very hard to use that pull camp to try and re-pull the creeps back out, but instead only got the ranged creep. But if you're only going to get one, the ranged creep, not a bad one to land.
It's a good deny, actually.
Not for you.
And we'll keep an eye predominantly on this top tri-lane versus tri-lane. Silencer in this situation. Oh, good split earth. A little free damage. They're going to go ahead and engage on this. There's the open wounds. He's very low. Yeah, this is going to be our first blood. The bro strike a little too late. And LGD gets a big win very early. 1.5 minutes into this laning phase, and they get first blood on the board in a lane that should have been a bit more problematic than that.
Well, this was a miscommunication type of thing. I was going to say that the Shadow Demon found the sentry ward, and he killed it right now. Mushi should have stayed away from this lane for that time.
And LGD looking solid. Darkseer in mid looking solid as well. God's up to 11 last hits, but Orange hanging in there. He's got 8. Very hard to deal with Ion Shell in these early levels. Down at bottom, the one-on-one situation, well anticipated out of Orange, I must say. Tinker going to be doing pretty well here against our Bounty Hunter. Bounty sitting at 5 and 7 for the Tink so far. What I think is going to end up being a make-or-break kind of a moment is when either team decides they want to apply some pressure to mid. They both have heroes that are going to be excellent moving out of this top lane towards mid out of smoke, but it's all going to come down to execution.
This tri-lane is very weird right now. I don't see this SF getting much out of this. I really am not.
So far, he certainly hasn't. Sitting at 1 last hit and giving up that early death really hurting Orange. And you can just see, playing so far back in 1-4-3-7, able to use Glaives of Wisdom. They'll apply a little bit of free harassment, now even beginning to use Shadow Rays just to try and do a little bit of damage, as well as pick up a few last hits a little bit more safely. But with his supports playing so far back, I mean, the posture of that tri-lane has changed already just because of that initial death. And now with the creep equilibrium moving the way of LGD, not looking to get better anytime soon.
They should definitely try to stack these pulls or do something like this, because they don't necessarily do anything on this lane. If there's going to be a split hitting on the SF, I don't think he can survive. Or even just going there with the Lifestealer and the disruption on the SF, he won't save him. He'll just land the stun on the Leshrac, of the Leshrac.
Brax sitting at 10 last hits. He's just about halfway to level 5 as well. He has picked up a bottle, and that's when things are going to get scary, in my opinion, if you're Orange, is Brax is going to have the ability to start bouncing around very soon. Tinker, of course, wants his boots to travel before he really starts to move, but when he does start to move, it'll be, you know, what Tinker does. It'll be annoying. It'll be almost impossible to deal with, almost impossible to push into, but wow, never mind. Somehow, yeah, never mind. Tinker just solos Brax on Bounty Hunter. That's surprising. I have no idea how that happened.
Like this, that the Bounty Hunter was getting lower and lower, and this bottle that you can see that is on the career, he wasn't getting it. It's his bottle, and he really needed it on this lane already. He was losing it, and I thought it doesn't really matter to kill or whatever, because he still would have gotten these more lasts out of him. But now he died, and it makes Tinker just a bit more stronger.
And we can see LGD continuing to win big here at top. Mushi had just 8 last hits to the 18 of the Lifestealer, and LGD now looking to invade the jungle a bit. They did go ahead and pull the large cap near the lane, but for right now, looking pretty safe here. A little bit of a split earth to try and steal a couple of these creeps, and managing to make him miss 1 at the very least. Creep equilibrium is moving back up under the tower of Orange now for the moment. In the meantime, God being as annoying as possible. Oh, he might actually kill this Weaver. Good vacuum isn't enough. Oh, he guessed wrong. He guessed south instead of north. And Ohio able to make it away with very little health. Thought for sure he had him there, but this is just the dominance of a Darkseer in a lane like this.
He's still gonna beat this tower down more than half HP. Oh no, it's a glyph!
And last word continues to be just an utter annoyance to Orange. And yeah, I think you called it right. Still sitting at roughly half of the last hits of his opponent. Mushi. Yep, and wow, they might get him again. There's a disruption. Not going to be enough, though. He's dead. Even use the wand charges. Does not matter. That's 2 extra intelligence in the back pocket of 1437.
I played Silencer yesterday, and I realized that this hero actually changes the game a little bit. Look at mid, but nothing happened. That if you actually lose these 4 intelligence on like the SF, you need the intelligence. Trust me, you really do. This is one of those heroes. Okay, another engagement.
Burrow Strike going to follow this up. There's a last word. They will be able to get the return kill on Misery. 1437 laying into him. No vision, though. Pycat now goes to Sentry. They're going to turn and get a return kill. 1437 has to run. Pycat at about half health. And the Shadow Ray is going to be off the mark. At least one of them was. Pycat eats the remaining 2, though. He's very low in Shadow Poison, almost enough. Now, Misery wants to re-engage. Down goes the Ward to keep an eye on him. Pycat going to catch out Net. Net down to half. He's going to eat the Curse, and that should be that. Edict damage plus the right click's a bit too much. And we've got Weaver making his way up from the south side. 1-4-3-7. Now they're going to dive Mushi. They're just going to go for it. God coming out of mid as well. Pycat will survive. Mushi not so lucky. Weaver will be coming up the backside, though. Misery likely to end up cleaned up, and he will. So they end up getting a few return kills. And now God's not safe, as Net's right on his back foot.
It's sanking. It's going to be a sanking move. Look at this.
And Burrow Strike will connect. So LGD looking great, but they feed a bunch back. That's a triple kill for the Weaver, who was struggling so much in Middle Ohio. Happy to get off to a much better start, courtesy of LGD being so aggressive. Make it 5-6. Orange maintains the lead.
This is not only a triple kill, this is the bounty hunter not knowing what to do. He really wanted to be top, but he doesn't have the mana to do so in the bottle. And he gave so much farm away to this Tinker. As you can see, he's actually most farm, maybe not.
Tell you what, Puppy, why don't you go ahead and let's reconnect. Just I want to prevent the robocall from marring.
Okay, wait.
Yep, that's
I'm gonna reconnect to Dota 2 then.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So I will be solo for the moment. Puppy will be joining us momentarily. Want to make sure his lucid tones are as clear and crystal beautiful as possible. So we'll have him back on momentarily. But yeah, 6-5. And Orange getting a big win there. And really that was just the over-aggression of LGD biting them in the ass there. God probably could have done a bit more if they had waited on him. Pycat really had no business diving with as little health as he had, but instead, Orange comes out ahead there. The gold still in the favor of LGD, but we can see what a turnaround that was. Up to almost 2,000 gold at one point to their advantage. Now down to less than 500. The experience has gone down the way of Orange, but still very volatile at this stage of the game. Go ahead and grab Puppy right back onto the call. And we're going to have a disruption in the meantime. They managed to catch one. There's the Burrow Strike on the 1-4-3-7. Free kill given back, and now God trying to get a return kill on Net. Chasing him into the shop. Will be able to clean him up via the Ion Shell. And the Splitter is going to be off the mark. Mystery's got to be careful. Burrow Strike barely going to catch him. All that work they did to make this lane go their way, now beginning to blow up in their face. However, God likely to get Mushi here. And God
he might get more.
He's going to dive out the Sand King. Sand King has a Sandstorm if he wants it. There's a Vacuum to bring him back. No Sandstorm going to help him, as that's a triple kill for God. So a back-and-forth slugfest. First Weaver gets a triple kill. Now God gets a triple kill.
Well, it is important that they're getting these kills, but as I can see the Tinker farm and the Weaver farm, I am totally... Actually, wait. The Tinker died in this match? Like in this fight where I was in here?
I honestly
I think he did. He has one death and something happened.
Yep, I was watching the fight at top, actually. He must have died in a lane elsewhere.
I guess so, but still, the Tinker death actually made him... Because he probably would have had Boost of Travels now. Probably.
Let's see.
Still doesn't have March, though, so he can't defend much towers. So it's their turn right now. It's LGD's turn to take the towers.
And Net going to be forced off the pool camp. He's got help to the north in Mushi. Mushi shows no interest in fighting, at least for the moment. Brax is there. He is level 8, so track kill's going to be available. They have God, who has just been a holy terror to Orange so far. Tinker has set up shop in mid. He's going to be about 600 gold away from Boots of Travel right now. That's going to open the door, as you said, for LGD and company to begin applying pressure to top. In the meantime, though, Weaver going to go ahead and split push bottom. Doesn't look like they're... Oh, never mind. I was going to say didn't look like they were going to send anyone, but that's going to be God heading down there to keep this tower standing. Leshrak and Brax going to go to work on the tier 1 top.
Alright, so what is happening in this game? The split push is starting, and everybody wants to find a gank. This bounty hunter wants to find a kill. He is trying to get this Weaver. So let's see how this goes.
Weaver is going to chase God back now. Very low. He's got... Oh, there's the silence.
Oh, wow.
Beautifully done there. Beautifully done. Making sure he couldn't use his ult. Making sure he was going to be locked in place. Very well executed. And picking up...
Brax did not even want to risk ultimating there.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Didn't even get the track off, I don't think. And there's the Burrow Strike on the Pycat. He's brought down. Laser, rockets, and a burrow strike more than enough to secure that kill. Make it 10-9, LGD and Orange. Playing like they're European teams, man. It's been a long time since I've seen an 11-minute game in Asia with 19 kills on the board.
Well, they're playing against Europeans, so...
Good point. Good point. And so far, I mean, we're 10 minutes in here. Well, a little over now, up to 11 minutes. Who would you say is really under the gun at this point, Puppy? Who needs to execute more at this moment?
Still, it's LGD. They definitely have to find... They have to find this kill on this Tinker. Once he starts split pushing or teleporting somewhere, you need to frag him twice, and you're pretty much gonna guarantee yourselves to get all the towers. Because right now, I don't see them doing that if they don't do that.
Boots of travel are done on him, so his mobility going to be through the roof. All the tier 1 save for 1 still standing on the side of Orange. All the tier 1.
God has nakes in it, by the way. Look at that.
Very nice.
He's walking through sentries. Super important.
Making his way through, looking for a target. Not going to find it.
Yep. Come on, farm this. Come on, God.
And he is going to surge. And yeah, he's going to go on Mushi. Here we go. They're just going to dive him out. Out comes Pycat. TP reactions coming in. There's a vacuum. Tinker's going to be landing. Here is our Sand King going to catch God out, and LGD being punished for playing ultra aggressive. And of course, for the first time seeing that Tinker has those boots of travel. Not a mistake they're likely to make anytime soon.
Well, they probably wasted like, I don't know, a minute, and then now they give away another minute. So that's totally not worth whatever they tried to do. Even if they would have gotten the kill on the SF, I think it's not even worth it anymore.
10-10, 20 kills on the board, split right down the middle. 13 minutes in, taking a look at the gold graph, we can see it stays pretty close. 2,000 is the advantage in terms of gold for LGD International. The experience slightly on the side of Orange for the moment, but as Puppy's been explaining so eloquently as always, the split push potential is going to be beginning to hit its stride for the first time with the boots of travel now done on Tinker. Weaver beginning to feel a little bit safer. He's going to have level 2 ulti very, very soon. He's level 10, halfway to 11, and Mushi finally finding himself a little bit of farm. If we take a look at the net worth, we can see he is in the top 3. 3 of the top 4, actually, all belonging to Orange. And Pycat now disrupted. There's the Demonic Purge. They're going to engage him on bottom. Rage not enough. There's the silence. Now the counter initiation. Can they catch them? And it looks like, yeah, they thought about it. Orange finally going to back out. The silence bailed out Pycat, who infested in the Brax. Out he comes and able to help their buddy stay alive a little bit longer.
Pulling out the global silence pretty much makes the game right now for Orange.
And God cleaned up, trying to be very aggressive there in mid. LGD still all hovering around bottom. They spent their TPs to get there. Let's see if Orange wants to go ahead and push this tier 1 now.
Where's my shadow beam? Okay, anyway. The Sand King, by the way, the only stun in this game has been playing perfectly. He really has been doing his stuff. The top lane stuns, the getting on the dogs he has done here, anywhere, like every position he has been on right on time. So he's playing really good his role, and it's what's bringing LGD down. It really is. Because God, if this Sand King would not have been there, he would have ran away. He would have gotten his mech. They would have probably come middle after that and killed the tower. So much things that are changing just because of a player playing good.
Absolutely agree. Sand King, and it's not just that he's hitting the stunts he should. He's, you know, whenever he has an opportunity, he's executing, catching them right at the tail end of his range. His levels are actually pretty solid given the situation they were in for the longest time. He's over level 8 now, so he has Epicenter if he wants to use it, but as you had mentioned during the draft, not something I think is the biggest concern. Looks like they will go ahead and be able to clean this up just because of how low the tower is. Brack's going to show his face up on the high ground and spot out a Shadow Demon. They've got 3 there. That's going to be God plus Brax and our Leshrac. A misery. But they will be forced
Bottom tower is going to fall.
Down goes the bottom tier 1. Orange cleans it up courtesy of Ohio. So Ohio looking pretty good. He's actually sitting on top of our net worth. And now all 3 of the top 3 net worth heroes on the board belong to Orange.
Top 4.
Top 3, according to mine, are Weaver, Shadow Fiend, and Tinker, all belonging to Orange.
Oh, wow. Tinker has 60 in mine. Huh. Or you mean farm, or you mean last hits?
I'm talking net worth, just pure...
Net worth?
Yep.
Okay.
So last hits, we can see, yeah, 3 of the top 4, absolutely. God is in that top 4 in terms of just pure CS. He's at 79 following Mushi.
God really gets maybe 25 last hits out of a small camp next to his lane, so it's not really true what he gets. So the net worth always tells the truth.
Absolutely. We can see the mech is done on Darkseer now, and that might be the catalyst for a concerted push coming out of LGD. One thing that does worry me, though, is Mushi has had plenty of time to catch up to the point he's actually surpassed Weaver now in terms of pure out-and-out net worth. He's on his way to a BKB following a set of drums, so he is playing a full mobility sort of an approach. Really like that idea. Just trying to be stable because he is going to be able to do damage via, if nothing else, Shadow Raises. His right-click's certainly going to be good so long as he stays alive and keeps 36 stacks on his Necro Mastery as well.
Mushi's one of these players that you should never be cocky against. Like, they were cocky once, they dived the tier 2 tower, and they lost every, like, point. If they would have killed him there, it still wouldn't have mattered. The point is, don't be cocky against this player. He will farm up instantly. He had the least farm in this game.
And Net
fight going up.
Playing a little bit of bait. He will be tracked out. Orange saw it coming. They had just dropped a ward right before LGD made their way up there. They also have a sentry down, so they managed to see what they were up against. Pycat still farming the top lane. We will have it TP'd back to mid by God. He's going to engage the Weaver. Weaver has that tower to just about 3/4, but doesn't look like we're going to have any big team fights, at least for the moment. 1437 does have his ulti available if he wants to spend it. The drums and the phase boots build once again out of Pycat. We saw this a lot yesterday. Likely to be followed up by something like a Sanj and Yasha.
It might be, but it might be not. I think he can go a different item build also. He's going on Mushi.
Mushi taking some right clicks. He's going to pop his drums, and now here comes Net. He's going to spin the Demonic Purge as a silence, and they're going to be able to engage Net off of that. Track kill will be thrown out just at the last moment, so spending the global silence to get 1 kill may be a little overkill, but at the same time, at least they got a track out of it. Now they may be able to think about pushing this tier 2.
There's no way. There's no way they can do that. Tinker's already getting level 2 March. If they will ever think to push this tower down, they will just die.
Up the urn, keeping Pycat up, but looks like he poked his nose out, thought about it, saw the march, and thought a little bit better of it. 18 minutes in, 22 kills on the board. Taking a look at the gold graph and where we sit, still very close. Less than 1,000 advantage for LGD. The experience a little bit higher for Orange, sitting at about 3,500. But we're beginning to see a lot of movement out of both teams. And this strikes me as the kind of game, Puppy, where if 1 or 2 team fights go really bad for either side, it can just get out of hand very quickly.
Yes, it's true, but I don't think Orange wants a team fight. They've always like pulled out in a situation where they just poke, you know? That's what Chinese teams do. They just poke you until you have to go back and they farm up. They're smarter, but look at mid.
Here in mid, looks like we're going to have Mushi caught with a split earth. Here comes Tinker, and he's going to spam a little bit, but no full-out engagement. As you said, the poke. We saw our Shadow Fiend.
They're just poking. They don't care. They're gonna make you think that you should take a fight, and then they're gonna run away. But this doesn't let you fight. But LGD's lineup is so good at fighting right now. They win all 5v5s. Like still, 10 minutes later, they will still win a 5v5 fight if they engage well.
Pycat has been doing some work. He's back on top in terms of net worth. The net worth, by the way, is extremely close. The only problem is it's close between 4 people, 3 of which all belong to Orange. We're talking less than 300 gold, or right around 300 gold, separating the top 4 farmers. Like, that's how close the net worth is right now. Pycat's on top, but not by much. But with Tinker, Shadow Fiend, and Weaver, all 3 being near the top for Orange, and only the 1 in Pycat, well, God's actually pretty close to it, 5,700. So, but we can already see. I think Orange is getting. Yep. And Misery going to be caught out in mid. Got there just in time to catch that. But it looks like Orange is really getting everything they want out of this early phase. They're getting their farm and finding their levels.
Yeah, they're playing their lineup like they should be. And I think the early game, the 10 minutes ago or even 15 minutes ago mistakes cost LGD so much. Because they were in a leading position where they weren't really losing heroes. And a situation that went maybe 4-2 and 5-3 went into a 5-6.
Right.
So that definitely changed the game because Mushi had nothing. He literally had nothing. He had 1 creep killer, 2-3, and that was all that he had. But now he has so much more because he got the levels. He got everything he needed to just raise up creeps and go back.
He's on his way to his BKB. He's going to have his Mithril Hammer basically as soon as he wants it. We could see Orange all kind of hovering around, anticipating more movement.
He has BKB already, pretty much. He has this recipe, and it's not in the chicken, it's on the ground.
Oh, wow. I see that now. Didn't even notice.
Yep.
Very
I
well.
was wondering, where the hell is his goal going on?
Very well spotted there, puppy. But is there a reason he would do that out of curiosity?
Maybe the chicken had
too much stuff.
Items on it. The idea is that they have bounty hunters. He's maybe scared that they will try to snipe the chicken at some point if it's like bringing observer wards. It's always good to put it in the base. Trust me, it is always good, but it just takes time. People that aren't lazy are always going to do that.
Gotcha. I mean, that's just something I don't think I've ever seen someone. I mean, obviously, if they need to make room on the courier, then that's one thing. But just curious if there was some next level reason my puny new brain cannot comprehend. Pycat gonna re-engage here. Actually spends open wounds on Mushi, but turns right around. Now he's gonna be purged. Here comes 1437. Wants to engage. Damage being done to net. Net should be cleaned up and will be. That's gonna be a track kill as well. +2 intelligence going the direction. Now, fighting in the double march. The ult was being built up by Mushi. Pycat going to infest it. Now, the epicenter reconnects. Pycat barely able to survive. There's a vacuum, but Pycat, wow, he's actually fighting through this. He got vacuum walled, as did the Shadow Fiend did, I should say. And Pycat somehow managing to survive. Now going to re-engage onto the Weaver. Weaver going to spend his ulti. 1437 with auto attacks enough to chase him away. God survives with less than 200 hit points. And now, good split earth, gonna catch him from misery. And they do manage to clean him up. They go 1 for 1 in that exchange. This fight continues to go on. The laser actually spent on a creep there. Poor creep can't see anything. But 15 to 15, and the slugfest continues, Puppy. They're just going blow for blow on both sides when they actually do have a fight.
Yes, they are. I think Pyke had made a remarkable move there by staying and living in that situation, killing the SF. It really made the game. But then after that, he still had sticks. Like you can see, he had 10 stick charges. He did not use them. I guess it's like the heat of the moment. You're like, holy shit, I'm surviving! And you just stand up doing whatever you can. Because you thought you were dead, you know? That's what people do in life. We're all humans.
Exactly.
Think you're dying, you'll do stupid things.
Absolutely. I tell you what, his armlet toggling was pretty excellent as well. Pulling the trigger on that infest at just the right moment. I thought he was dead to rights 2 or 3 times. It was a big turnaround too. It didn't hurt to have God there. God showed up at just the right time. Was able to get off a mech charge as well as land a vacuum wall. And the wall only catching Mushi, but in that case, that's really the only one he had to catch to make sure they got him off of the board. 15 to 15. Almost 24 minutes in, the gold back to moving upwards for LGD in excess of 2,000. Now the experience has been just about cut in half in terms of the lead for Orange as well, going from about 4,000 to just about 2,500. But still a lot of Dota to be played. Very, very close match so far.
Yeah, all I can think right now is this Bounty Hunter, if he gets BKB, I think it's going to be very beneficial for them, because if he can just run in and do whatever he wants to. If they will have to use the Demonic Purge, I think it's called Demonic Purge, let's see, Shadow Demon. Yes, if they have to use that spell on a Bounty Hunter, I think Naix will start running free and doing whatever he wants.
And so far, most of the tower still standing for Orange, despite the best efforts of LGD. They've lost 2 tier 1s. Only 1 tier 1 on down on the side of LGD International, so the map control relatively even at the moment. And Weaver going to be run out of top lane by God. God looks to be on his way to a pipe. He has picked up the cloak, probably on the way to a hood plus pipe eventually. But right now, I mean, as we roll through, and this is what I would call the early stage of the mid game. When you look at what LGD has done so far and what their capabilities are they letting Shadow Fiend have a little bit too much room? He's up to 800 gold already and has a BKB drums and treads.
The idea is that they have to get through Shadow Demon, Sand King, and Weaver to get to the Shadow Fiend, because the only placement they can go run through is through the rune spot in a smoke. See, that is the risky move to do, because there might be a sentry ward there and there might be an obs ward, so you can't just walk past it and you can't smoke past it. So if you ever have to go and fight the SF in the woods, you're going to have to go through Weaver, who is split pushing. He doesn't care if they actually kill him. He's going to Manta style out or something like that, run around, and Tinker's going to start split pushing. Your lanes are going to be pushed anyway, and Mushi's going to understand that. He's going to actually go to the Weaver. There's so many situations that's going to happen. You think it's easy to go and kill this SF, but it isn't. They're protecting him. It doesn't look like that, but it actually is. The lanes is what you have to look at. Because if people are on the lanes, the Sand Shadow Demon farming, the lane Tinker split pushing bottom, and the Weaver top, you can't enter the woods. Because if you will, he will click BKB ultimate and the whole team will squash you up.
We can already see, as you pointed out, a little bit of counter warding going on. I mean, obviously taking vision away from your opponents, but opening up this pathway, as you had mentioned, if they do want to head in that direction, and being confident that there's not a sentry to spot them out. For now, Mushi has hooked up with the Weaver and is now beginning to move through. On bottom lane, we're going to have Pycat spotted out. He's going to turn and fight his own illusions. Pops Rage and will just TP out now. Should be able to make it safely, but that might be enough. Nope, never mind. We've got reaction coming out of LGD. Track goes off on Weaver. There's drum charges pop. They're going to look to head south and hook up with the rest of their team, and they will not be pursued by LGD.
Okay, I had a feeling like maybe the Nakes could have died bottom. If you could see, they stunned the Nakes. He got stunned, but then they destructed him at the same time, so I'm not really sure what happened there.
Shadow Fiend has added a Yasha to his inventory now. Look, if he wants to go the way of Manta style to go along with Weaver. A lot of push potential coming out of those two heroes by their own right, but getting Manta up even more so. And I'm
like time.
And Mushi gonna blow his ulti. No, actually thought about it. Now he's gonna wait for Tinker to show. Pycat gets juked a bit. Mushi very low health, finds himself in a corner. Oh, Pycat! Oh no! Lets him get away.
He wouldn't even kill him. He wouldn't even kill him.
And he just infests himself into a creep, so missed opportunity. Big missed opportunity to get Mushi off the board there, and it remains 15-15.
I don't think he would have killed him. Even if he would have seen the SF right away, it would have taken some real luck to get it, because the creeps were running after Pycat, and he would have to hit the SF at least 3 times, maybe even 4, maybe 3 times and then infest, but the creeps were behind.
Yep.
The creeps were behind the Nakes, and they were only running after him. That means it's going to be a weird situation where he's going to do the 1 hit and already has to go infest, or 2 hits and already infest. He could just screw it up, so it was hard. Okay, let's look at this smoke gank on the Tinker.
Down on bottom, we can see LGD looking to find themselves the target. Tinker is going to hang around for the moment, just using rearm and spamming March, and going to spot it out. He blinks away. And we'll be able to teleport away, so they will end up getting a tower out of it at the very least, so not complete waste of time. Another tier 1 does drop. That'll certainly help them out. Brack's still keeping an eye on Mushi here at top, though. Mushi with a lot of help around, so he's got to be careful.
Every time LGD takes down a tower, Weaver takes one back.
Yep,
as you can see, Let's Try taking down the tower, Weaver before.
15-15. Still very much a close match. The goal beginning to get very close to the even mark, though. And I feel like Orange has really gotten the better of this early game. I mean, it's not, you know, obviously 15-15, the Goldie experience still relatively close on both sides, but when you begin to look at just the pure late game potential, you have to give the edge to Orange here.
Yes. But as you can see, Pycat did not go for the Sanjin Yashi build. I think it doesn't matter. He needs to stop something. You know, he needs to run into the fight and maybe try to disable some hero and kill it. Which is Abyssal Blade and Basher. It is true, you need to get this item.
Yeah, if he can get on top of Mushi, certainly be a big help. And, I mean, he's got some heroes that can get him in close if needs be. He's got God and Brax on the Bounty Hunter if they're able to infest and make something happen there. So far, though, I feel like the Bounty Hunter really hasn't been of that high a value. He's gotten a few track kills here and there, but 9 times out of 10, you're playing like this, and it comes down to what you were talking about, the Chinese playstyle, where they're going to poke you, make you feel like you can fight, and then they just fall back and don't give you the opportunity to get the full use out of something like track because they're just not allowing you to fight them that much. Now, that might change as Pycat spots out Mushi. There's an open wounds. He's got BKB if he really wants to use it. And Tinker going to be landing in just in time. He's actually going to go ahead and infest back out. We saw Tinker blink to the high ground, and Pycat just playing it safe. In the meantime, Weaver actually cleans up Misery all by his lonesome, so finding a free kill when Mushi was the one in trouble.
I think the Sand King had Blink Dagger and Stun right there. Look at this.
And here we go, Epicenter. Oh, poor Braxton, 1437. Beautifully engaged. Brax still alive for the moment. But another tower. They're going to be very hard-pressed to try and defend. The tower will end up dropping
Bottom
Weaver.
lane.
Bottom lane, we'll have the TP in. There's going to be a Burrow Strike catching God. God going to try to run away. There's the vacuum wall. Got 3 of them. He's actually doing good damage. Mushi with his ulti, though, going to return it, and they do manage to clean him up. And somehow Net and X both managed to make it away sub 150 hit points.
Yeah, they're they're playing weird. They are trying to split push with a Doxy. It's not going to work out. Like I said already, if they're going to play the orange game, and even though they did not have to kill the Starkseer, which they did, and it's good, they could have lost the Sand King and Shadow Demon, it doesn't really matter, but they didn't really have to kill the Doxy. The Doxy should have actually got away. The point about the split push is that he won't do anything. He doesn't get the towers, he doesn't need the items. Of course, items are always good, but they're not doing anything correctly with the Starkseer, even though it's strong hero for them. Look at mid lane.
We actually see Mushi has picked himself up a Shadow Blade, looking to join the fight now. A lot of right-click damage. I mean, we're beginning to see Weaver's already feeling very fat with a Manta style of Demon Edge, most likely on his way to an MKB. And now, Burrow Strike going to catch Pycat. Mushi's there, and yeah, comes out of cover of the Shadow Blade, exposed it for the first time. Global Silence not going to help Pycat as he's just right-clicked to death. And this game beginning to fall apart in a big way for LGD. Giving up deaths that have, oh wow, Burrow Strike spin on a BKB target. He is going to be able to make it away now. The mech and the pipe going to be popped. They're going to try to re-engage. And Orange looks like they're ready to pull back. They got way out there for a bit. Pycat actually bought back in the middle of all that. Some gold he could ill afford to spend. But yeah, like that was just kind of a goofy death. He just flat out got caught.
Yes, he did. But you know why he gets caught? It's because Orange's Observer Wars and Sentries have been top-notch. If you don't remember this, the Sentry Wars where they ganked Mushi at top, they have been on top-notch. On the perfect positions to see a hero that is in this. Because the Sentry Wars, they don't see much. They don't freaking see much. Take a look at the Sentry Ward that is next to the tier 2 tower bottom. You see this? This is the vision he gets. You have to place it perfectly for it to work out for you to see it. And they did, and everything went their way. So Net is playing, like always, a perfect support.
So far, 20-5, or 20-15, I should say, and about to get bigger. Pycat once again just punished, and that comes down to the vision once again, man. You were talking about now they're going to take away what little vision LGD actually had left on the map. And I actually was going around spotting out a lot of the wards, but I mean, that's exactly what got him killed there. The vision of these two wards as they cross over here. And just no way for him to get away. That's going to be a free Roshan. As he does drop, they'll stick the Aegis onto Mushi as anticipated. And the right-click damage coming out of Mushi right now, especially when you consider his ability to nuke down one target coming out of cover of Shadow Blade. Mushi's playing very scary. I mean, this is just a Shadow Fiend that is already getting very fat, and he has Weaver to back him up too.
He is a scary asset. But the Snake's death right there next to Roshan, you can see that this is not a death because of a player playing bad or anything. It's a frustration of the player. Like, if we won't fight here and we won't win this fight next to the Roshan, I think there's no point to play it. So he was standing there telling his team, what the hell are we doing? And his team probably wanted, like, it doesn't matter. Like, let's try something out. Let's play defensively. But you can't play defensively against Orange. You're going to lose. Just gonna lose. You need to aggro on them. They maybe needed to play some two Sentry Wards and try something, but they weren't good enough. They weren't ready.
Completely agree. And really, it's a shame to see it because LGD had such a big opening available to them to shut down Orange early on, and we saw them get the first blood, and really at that point, I was thinking Orange was in trouble. Mushi, as you said, I mean, at one point, Mushi was sitting at like 5 last hits to like the 22 or something absurd of the Lifestealer. He was getting nowhere near the creep wave. He was even suffering in experience, but Orange able to grind it out to poke and poke, and now LGD with what I would label a desperation smoke. They will find Net, and that's a very dead Shadow Fiend. Or excuse me, Shadow Demon. But Shadow Demon, as good as that hero is, that doesn't really allow them to push. The Tinker's still up, the Shadow Fiend's still up, the Sand King's still up.
I think this bottom tower will fall even if they start teleporting there. They have nothing to stop the Weaver. Even solo Weaver. They have nothing.
Yep.
Oh, Tinker.
Tinker going to be vacuumed back. That's a big pickoff. Now, though, Mushi's there. Global Silence pop. Mushi going to be pursued. They think better of it. Decide to go ahead and turn around and focus the tier 1. But the backdoor protection keeping it up at least a little bit longer. Mushi uses the Manta. He's going to move out. He's got help from X. The Sand King perhaps looking to set up an epicenter. He has Blink if he wants it. Tower down, and now LGD got to pursue him out. Very clutch Blink. And Mushi re-engages. He's going to be able to get 1437 for free. There's the bash, though. Very fortuitous coming out of Pycat. He's going to pursue right up to the steps, and now, wow, they caught God! God, with his hand in the cookie jar, got a little bit too aggressive. They end up trading 1 for 1, or excuse me, tier 2 for tier 2. In the bottom, Weaver now pushing all the way to the tier 3, and he's going to force at least one reaction. That's going to be Brax, but he's got a lifestealer ahead of him. Then Weaver actually uses ulti, gives them everything they could ever want. Pycat pursuing him out. Drums gonna be popped, and there you go. Another good bash, just when he needed it the most. So
well, Orange are being cocky, aren't we?
Weaver saying, you know what, bro? It's fine. I'll just ulti. I'll have 1,000,000 health, and you can't kill me. Then suddenly a lifestealer.
Yeah, that's the worst pub games ever, you know. The worst pub games ever. Suddenly a lifestealer. You're like, God damn it, always.
And that's when you go on Reddit and you make a thread bitching about it and saying, ice fraud, nerf, the LS.
No, you don't do that. You shake your hands and you're like, Mom, don't freaking talk to me today.
18-23, Orange leading at 36 minutes in. Taking a look at the gold, we got plus 5,000 moving the way of the Dire side. The Malaysian Sensations finally getting the gold moving in their favor. The experience is a little terrifying. The graphs look similar, but when you look at the scale, it's a little different. 15,000 experience moving the way of Orange right now. Due in large part to just, I mean, they've traded their kills away, but they've just been so excellent at maximizing their farm and at making sure that when they do end up trading in these fights, they trade in a way that at least keeps the map open to them.
LGD, they're maybe getting pull out of this game, as in maybe Orange is starting to go aggressive, getting over the river, and they might get a position where they could actually use this global into full extent. But let's see if that happens.
And here we go. LGD has Brax there. They actually, I'm surprised they didn't try to do anything there. They had a double damager, and obviously they would have had to wait for the rest of the team to catch up. But with Pycat having a DD active and Brax spot, I'm pretty sure Brax got to look at least one hero there. But maybe just feeling the pressure, realizing that at this point, the damage output coming out of Weaver and out of the Shadow Fiend has reached that stage where you lose one more team fight, you're probably going to lose a Rax.
Holy Lord, look at Leshrak's farm.
Leshrak, yeah, Leshrak's a little fat, now that you mention it.
He has Hex.
And Misery. I'm going to guess, I mean, that has to be just from not dying that much, because when you look at net worth, I mean, it's just not that big. He's sitting at 8,500. The top 3 on the board all belong to Orange right now. MKB is complete on the Weaver, so laying siege from the low ground, not going to be a problem. And this is where things get tricky, I think. I mean, you've got 2 Manta Styles on Mushi and on Orange. There's a good vacuum, but unable to follow it up. And just look at the tier 3 already melt. I mean, that's pretty much nothing but illusions. Now we're going to have the Burrow Strike on the God. There's the Hex to counter it. Silence will come out. They may be able to bait this back. I don't know, yeah. We're going to see an immediate TP away. There was a buyback from God as well. They blew the Silence and they keep the tier 3 standing, but it cost Orange absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't know where the hexes were used, but I mean, God, he shouldn't stand like that in front, but it doesn't really matter. He had no choice. He has to stand in front or the tower's going to fall. It's very hard. The only choice which LGD.int could have done was to prepare for this to happen and go with a smoke gank. But they know that the SF is going to go in front because the Aegis is going to fall in like, I don't know how much seconds, maybe like 10?
Yep.
15?
No, they've actually, yep, it's going to be about 10 seconds, so looks like that Aegis is going to be
dropped.
Yep, there it goes. And now, wow, Burrow Strike going to be off the mark. Good vacuum, caught 2, they clean 1 up, the wall goes down, now the BKBs and the ulti out of Mushi. Here comes Weaver, ready to refight. And God will be cleaned up with the Geminate attack. The illusion's absolutely massive. But so far, 2 for 1 the trade, 26-19. And let's see if they want to push off of this. Looks like they don't. Mushi's just going to pull back and play it safe.
I think this was a weird fight because I definitely think the Nake should have kept hitting the SF. I think the SF would have died there if the right click of the Nakes would have came out, because he would have gotten bashed, maybe proc the ultimate, or not proc the ultimate, I don't know, disable the ultimate, and it would have been a completely different fight. But I think they did not know what they were getting into. They were getting, if maybe the SF would have died there, they might have all died, because the Tinker would have just jumped at them with many hexes. So it's true to see some situations that he should have, but you never know if the right choice was the right choice.
Right.
Sometimes Dota is just like that. You make the wrong choice and it is actually the right choice.
We see Tinker has added the Hex to his inventory. Chain Hex now very much on the menu if they're able to catch Pycat out. Mushi's got a small trust fund he's building, 3,500 gold. We'll see what he wants to spend that on. In this situation, looking at the complexion of the game so far, what item choice you feel is going to be the correct one for a Shadow Fiend?
I don't really know. He just needs damage. It doesn't really matter. He has all of his items, which is gonna allow him to do everything. But I guess I really hope that he keeps all of his items, just drops the teleport scroll, gets a new item, and then gets boosted travel. It's probably going to be a Butterfly or Buritza. Whatever choice he makes.
Butterfly is kind of what I was thinking. Butterfly would help him out immensely against Lifestealer, who's going to be looking to focus fire him for the most part. Speaking of Lifestealer, let's see how close he is to his Abyssal. He's not super far away. He's getting there, man. He only has about another 800 gold, and he'll have that guaranteed stun to knock Mushi out of commission. So, again, I think Butterfly, a very optimum choice for him. In the meantime, looks like Lincoln's going to be the choice on Ohio. He has added yet another Ultimate Orb to his
might go Scotty, man. Don't you say anything.
Could happen, man.
He's a crazy dude, man.
Doesn't matter. The Geminate attack doesn't grant orb effects. But
well, it doesn't really matter.
I know.
Get the first hit on the Scotty.
Scatty. What you doing, Scatty? Like you're from Boston?
I'm not from Boston. I'm not from Boston, man.
Orange now beginning to show their face again in this bottom lane. They've got 2 separated out. Actually make that 3 up to top. That's from LGD. And Pycat Misery going to come up wanting as the entire squad of Orange is in their jungle now. We can already see the wards. As you've mentioned, the warding and the vision has been excellent from Orange so far. This Tier 3 still standing, though, so LGD has managed to extend this game at the very, very least, and trying to just buy some time, give them a chance to maybe get a fortuitous pick and try to turn things around a bit.
Well, crazy plays have to come in here, because the only crazy play that I can think of right now is if they would force that SF into them and kill him, and God would get a vacuum on all the heroes that are going to back him up. That's the only thing that I can see right now. But I think Orange won't play like this anymore. They'll just keep on sending the Manta illusions into the tower, or with Aegis. They're going to go with Aegis. I like how this timer is on the other side now. It's like it's broken. Somebody broke the clock.
Valve broke it. Ice Fraud.
Ice Fraud.
43 minutes, and we're going to have Roche responding. Happy New Year, says Orange. As the big boys back up and ready to fight, and LGD, they've got an infest into Misery. Misery, of course, that Scythe of Ice, a very, very dangerous Ledge Drag. Not going to get there anywhere near soon enough, though. 5,200 gold now sitting in the inventory of Mushi, too, so he's not far away at all from just one-shot buying a Butterfly, but most likely banking for buyback at this stage. We can see the experience has continued to go all the way of Orange. Over 20,000 in their favor now. The gold just over 7,500, so not immense, but doesn't hurt to have a double damage on your Weaver either.
Well, God doesn't have a buyback this time, so he definitely has to look out. Or he can just, you know, one of the things that you can always do is to bait out a stun from the Sand right now the same way. Okay.
There we go. He baited it out well. Now there's the global silence. Vacuum wall catches a bunch. Off goes the ult from Mushi. But one down, and it's only on the side of Orange. Now we're going to see one cleaned up. No, ulti spit by Weaver. He's able to survive. Now LGD trying to make it back to the high ground, and Tinker using March of the Machines. God will be tracked down by one stray missile.
Mushi.
And here comes Mushi back up from the grave. Ready to be re-engaged by Pycat. There's the curse as well, and the disruption from that buys some time. Is it going to be enough? Out he comes, and look at the right click. Pycat blown up by the damage output of Mushi, and they're not done. They're going to chase Misery all the way back. Weaver's going for it. Down he goes. No, I was going to say, no buybacks left except for the Lesh. He's back up and ready to fight. And unless
the Weaver.
There you go.
No.
They're actually going to spin it on net, and that's a super dead Lash Track. Good splitter to say goodbye, but the GGs come out. 33-20 in a 45-minute game right on the money. And LGD International, off to a good start early, just kind of let it slip away from them, and gradually, bit by bit, Orange able to steal a win here in game number 1. That makes it 6 games in a row, by the way, that Orange has defeated LGD International, dating back to the beginning of March.
Well, I would say it again. I think they underestimated their enemy, I'm sorry. by going there top and trying to make some kind of a move on a lane that actually does not get anything. Because they ganked the lane, trust me, they ganked the lane which was not benefiting anything. This SF was not farming anything. There's no reason to gank. But they did, and they lost. And they gave everything away to the SF. And what I said that should have been happening, which was their plan initially, it was probably their plan initially to start ganking the Tinker when he gets boosted Trials, but instead they didn't do that. They went to Mushi, they tried to kill him once, and one mistake is enough to set you back. Because they tried to kill Mushi, Mushi survived, they killed, I think, one of the heroes. I think they killed only God or Lifesteal, one of them, maybe not. But that's already the gank. The Infest gank on the Tinker has not been used, and the Tinker farmed up Blink Dagger. You've already lost the momentum.
46 minutes, 16 seconds, the official game time. 20-33 was how it ended up. And Orange rolls to yet another victory. Game 1 goes in their back pocket, and LGD up against it. Now, if LGD loses today, they are not eliminated. They still have a chance to fight their way through the playoff section, I guess you could say, here in Phase 3. There is going to be a section where if they lose today, they will most likely wind up in 3rd position. But, well, I can't even say that. I mean, that's not even fair to say. Rattlesnake, a team that has been playing phenomenally. Basically, what it comes down to is LGD, if they lose today, and then Rattlesnake upsets LGD China in the remaining group stage match in their group, LGD.int is eliminated. So they do have a chance to be eliminated if they don't win the day. If Rattlesnake loses to LGD China, they will have a chance to play their way out of the group. It'll be a very long road. Orange, with equally as much on the line, if Orange wins, if Orange can win one more game and make it 7 game wins in a row dating back to March against LGD International, they punch their ticket, man. They're going to the live finals. I'm AC, joined by Puppy for the broadcast. The pivotal Game 2 of this best of 3 broadcast coming up next here on One More Game TV 2. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us.